Well, hello there, y'all. It's your girl, Sean LeRae. Welcome back to Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And that's you. So I'm so excited to see you all yet again on a Wednesday night. I hope you all are doing something fantastic. In the middle of the week is hump day. We are almost at the weekend again, y'all. Not that, great things don't happen during the week, but I got to tell you, some about that weekend. And I sometimes work on weekends and I sometimes don't. And I sometimes don't work during the week. So it's not always just that we don't have to work, but there's just something about the relaxation idea that comes with the weekends. Although I'm super busy on the weekends too, to be truth be told. But I do find ways to get my relaxation on. So if you're out there tonight, let me know what is something that you do to relax. I was a guest on a podcast today. Shout out to Ann McNeese of the Soul Grit podcast. It's a podcast for therapists, the mental health community. She said there are lay people who watch also, but who are also Christians. So we talk about therapy from a Christian perspective and how you can incorporate scripture with your clients. So if you're out there and you're a clinician, check that out. It is going to air, guess when? On my birthday. And you want to know what else? It's her birthday too. And we discovered that today, that February 21st is both of our birthdays. So we called it a birthday celebration. So be sure to tune into that. I'll give you more deets on that later. But let me know what you're doing, because what she asked me today was what I do for my soul care. So I want to know what you do out there for your soul care. And even if what tell me what that means for you, because for me it means doing something that takes care of my mind, body, spirit, which is I think all of those things are encompassed in our soul. It's where I think it's the richest part of us is our soul. That's where our truth is. That's where I think the soul is also the root of joy. And you all know that I am a stand for joy, even in the midst of grief and what I learned in the grief journey that I've been taking in this season is that I can find joy in the remembrance of my William. And he brought me so much joy. So I lean into that as I, navigate the waters of grief. So if you're out there and you have lost someone, as many of us have during this COVID season, and, just everyday life can include loss, but see if you can find the space to lean into the joy that came with having the person that you loved in your life. Because that's a gift, and we have to take from the gifts. Hello there, Miss Pamela Roberts. Happy birthday, Alexis. Well, oh my gosh, that is Alexis, my girl. How are you, beautiful? It is so good to see, well, sort of see you, but good to connect with you. We'll have to reconnect, because I miss you in my life, beautiful. It's so great to see you. What a treat. What a treat. Well, welcome to Boss Talk. It's so good to see you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love when people come on from my, uh, gosh, I don't want to say past, but it's been a long time since we connected, but folks that I've known for a really long time and who are part of my heart. I love when we reconnect, and especially when it's unexpectedly like this. So y'all know February is the month of a lot of things. So it is Black History Month, of course, which y'all know how I feel about that. I feel like Black History ought to be celebrated day, month, but that's a whole nother conversation. And it is the month of love. And of course, I would be born during the month of love because I'm such a lover. So guess what? My guests tonight are a couple, a power couple, as you read the show notes. And I want you all to take a minute, go and get your pen, your journal, your notebook, whatever you want to write on, something that you will not lose, because some of the tips and the tidbits and the goodies that they're going to be sharing with us tonight, you are going to want to keep, you're going to want to share and tell all your peeps about what they share with us tonight. This couple not only invests in love for couples, but also financial stability, financial wellness, financial growth, financial abundance. So tune in, tell a friend, take a minute, copy and paste that link and send it to all your people in your phone book, because you do not want to miss not a minute, not a second of this. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about them before I bring them on. So my guests tonight, oh, I'm so excited. Eric and Dr. SaKeisha Hylick. They are multi-award winning TV producers of the Becoming a Millionaire Power Couple TV show. Ooh, I know you want to tune into that. They are marriage and relationship success strategists, generational wealth builders, best-selling authors, and podcast hosts. Minister Eric and Dr. SaKeisha are frequently called upon because of their innate ability to help their clients achieve breakthroughs in their relationship struggles. Whether you're experiencing challenges in your relationships, spiritually, emotionally, and or financially, the Hylicks deliver proven systems to break unproductive behavioral patterns and create lifelong change. The Hylicks are the visionaries of Marriage Can Win, a platform founded to help couples who, while dominating their professional lives, are faltering in their personal ones. Eric is a sought-after guest speaker and licensed financial services advisor who helps families build and protect generational wealth. It is his belief that it is essential to help families leave a legacy for future generations. Absolutely. He helps men transition into their various roles as young men, husbands, and fathers. SaKeisha is a retired pharmacist who has served in a leadership capacity for the past 18 plus years. Dr. SaKeisha is extremely enthusiastic about helping women to successfully transition from corporate America into entrepreneurship. She is frequently called upon on various radio, television, and podcast platforms as an expert to empower women in the areas of leadership and financial literacy. The Hylicks utilize their platform to help couples build healthy, strong marriages, build successful businesses, and build generational wealth. So, y'all, without another word from me, please, please welcome to Boss Talk, Eric and SaKeisha Hylick. Yay!
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so
Hello,
much for
hello.
having us.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you all on. So y'all doing some good stuff out there, and I want you to be able to talk to the boss talkers out there and share some of the goodies that you have under your belt.
Wow.
Well, first of all, we're happy to be on your show
Yeah.
and to, just really um, to see you again. It's been a little bit, and
Yes.
definitely want to share to all the viewing audiences out there. And yeah, that's kind of our mission. We've been working with couples, over I guess about 16, 17 years now.
Wow.
Started in ministry, and then we started out with our first book, which is Marriage Can Win. And we targeted the three biggest areas that causes relationships and marriages to fail, which is communication, finance, and sex. And so since then, we wrote a number of books, and we're now on our fifth book.
Wow.
Which
That's incredible.
Yeah, and we just launched our season 2 of Becoming a Millionaire Power Couple, and we also launched the pre-launch of the Becoming a Millionaire Power Couple, the book as well.
Wow, you guys
A
are
little bit.
busy, and I love every second of that. So tell us, how did you all meet? I like to get into the beginning.
Now, let's see. I'll let him tell it then.
Well, we met in Tallahassee, Florida, at Florida University.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was I was actually coming from a study session,
Mhm.
and I was in the parking lot of Gaither Gym, which is the gymnasium there, and I was backing up, and I just happened to look over, and I just saw this pretty girl with this big butt and a pretty smile, and I was like, "Whoa, let me back up." And then I said, "Well, let me shoot my shot." I saw she had AKA on her shirt, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, that's one of them Sagidi sorority girls," you know. And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna shoot my shot anyway." And so I pulled up to her, and I
Mhm.
said, "Excuse me."
No,
Oh my goodness.
no.
That's his story. He's sticking to it.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, SaKeisha, is that how you remember it?
Not quite. I remember him backing up to talk to me, but literally, I was just going. I was in that season of my life where I was just over and done with dating and relationships. So when I met him, I was just ready. I was actually getting ready to blow him off. But literally, God, it was nothing but God. I heard it earlier that morning. Be nice to everyone you meet today. But I was just like, huh? But then later on, I got to my car. And of course, I was triggered because I got a note that just kind of took me back into everything, all the drama that was going on in life. So then this guy pulls up and he's just kind of, one to talk. And I'm like, really? Not today, dude. You don't want any of this. But but literally, I heard it again. Be nice to everyone you meet today. So that's when my demeanor changed, and I listened to what he said. I was just like, he's kind of cute, maybe. So I actually gave him my number, and it was the real number because I used to give out fake phone numbers.
I know. So did you also have a fake name? Because I did whenever I was Kelly Green.
Yours was what, Simone?
Yeah, Simone. Oh, you remembered. Yeah.
That's so funny. So okay, and
Mhm.
now SaKeisha, did we talk about that we were sorors?
No, we
I
hadn't.
don't think we even got to that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Yes. I
I
knew there was something wonderful about you.
I pledged at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. Those
Oh
are
Okay.
wow.
chapter.
Okay.
Yes.
I pledged back at University of South Carolina at
Okay.
Theta Gamma chapter, but that was like back in 1992, a long time
Ooh, girl, I got you beat. I'm 1979.
ago. Okay.
Yes. I think I'm like my 40 something anniversary. I lose count,
Oh,
but my anniversary is April 27th.
oh,
Oh wow.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there'll be some sorors on soon.
Oh, okay.
I think they're both in Bible study first, and then they come
Okay.
here.
Oh, okay.
One's in Texas and one's in Detroit.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we
Awesome.
we have a thread of 14 of us that we text and connect every day,
Oh.
and we had a reunion last May, Memorial Day
Oh.
weekend. We went to Florida. Actually, we went to Miami.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
we had a ball.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Miami is
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
yes. So, all right. So he rolled up on you, and you had gotten a message from God. He was like, "Okay, behave yourself today. Be nice to everyone
Yeah.
you meet." But isn't that amazing though? How
Yeah.
God will intervene in that way when He
Yes.
knows that it's just supposed to be this. The
Yes.
day that I
Yes.
met William, I was not behaving well. God, I missed the message. So I was acting up. I was rolling my eyes and sucking my teeth and doing all that,
Oh wow.
all of it. But I guess God said, I need to know if this guy can handle this one right here. And
Ooh,
and he just kept talking. So I guess it was okay. So
those AKAs. Those
William,
pearls. Is that what they
Yeah.
call y'all?
that's 20 pearls, 20 pearls, baby. So how long have you guys been married?
This August will be 25 years. We've been together almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. So it would stand to reason that you guys
Mhm.
have a lot of good tools for the people
Mhm.
out there to help them keep their marriage fresh and strong and
Yeah.
passionate and all those good things. So you
Yeah.
said you first started in ministry,
Mhm.
right? So tell me about that. Tell us about that. Y'all listening?
Believe it or not, when we were at church, you know, how when you're starting a new church and they have marriage ministry and they were encouraging couples to come out. And I don't know what happened. They kept asking. So we're like, let's go check it out. And when we got there, I can be honest now, the atmosphere is really cold. It's just, you felt like when you walked in, you felt like you were being judged.
Mm,
And I'm not the one to kind of flow with the status quo. I was like, okay, no one really wanted to raise their hands and ask questions. Of course, I'm going to raise my hands like, well, I have a question then. And it kind of broke the ice in the room because it's like you can feel a sigh of relief. Someone's like, ah, like finally someone's saying something. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And they actually asked us, can you guys come back next time? So
wow.
we just kept going back and going back, and then next thing you know, we're a part of the facilitators, and
Right.
we did that for several years of ministry, and it was a blessing. We did learn a lot. We went through lots of struggles as well. We're not going to pretend that our marriage was perfect because we struggled like lots of other couples, but we gleaned a lot from the couples that we connected with.
Yeah.
And that helped us. It's those nuggets of wisdom that helped us on our journey. Even today, the
Mm,
things that used to bother me now, I can laugh now because when you're in that circle where you can be honest and transparent, then
right.
it's like, silly things I get mad about, messing up the bed or just
Sure.
things, baggage you brought from home,
Right.
and then they actually helped you to unpack it. Why are you feeling like this? Why is your response like that? And so now I'm able to take that and pour into other couples as well.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So from experience that you have, you
Hmm.
can help others move past it. Don't make the
Yeah.
same mistakes. Don't fall in the same
Yes.
holes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also when you do,
Yeah.
when you fall into those holes, how do you get back
Mm.
out and how do you
Yeah.
stay connected?
Yeah.
What would
Just
you tell
recognize.
a
Go
couple?
ahead.
Like what would you tell someone who
Mhm.
has fallen in all the holes, okay? They just been all up in there. And how do you tell them how to get back out?
You know what? I tell them just don't make a permanent decision based on that temporary situation. Sometimes we want to give up on our marriage and throw in the towel just because you hit a rough season in your relationship. But recognize just like seasons change, you got fall, spring, winter, summer seasons. You go through seasons in your marriage, and then you still, I tell them this: just be mindful when your child is having a challenge or a family member, you're going to roll up your sleeves and figure out what you got to do in order to help them.
Right.
The same thing in your marriage. You vowed to spend the rest of your life with this person. So why are you going to just let it go because you hit a rough patch? Don't you vowed for better for worse.
Hmm.
So now that you're hitting that rough patch, you're like, uh-oh, you have to be mindful just because you have a challenge in this relationship, you want to throw that away and go into another relationship. You're going to have challenges in that relationship as well. I promise
Exactly.
you. So,
Yes.
roll up your sleeves and start to do the work. It may not feel good sometimes,
Mhm.
but it's worth fighting for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know also because we've been together for a while,
Mhm.
is what worked in the beginning
Yeah.
with your relationship has to change. You have
Yeah.
to adapt to the times,
Yeah.
adapt to the seasons.
Yes.
Because when we started, we were dating, and when we got married, we were together, alone. But then we had children, and so now
Those
we've
two.
had them, right, and so we've gotten to the point now where um, our daughter is in grad school at University of Miami, and our son, he's at University of Florida, Central Florida, here in Orlando. But at first, they had no housing, so he was still here with us. So we was like, okay, we're not going to be empty nesters. And then they cleared housing, and now he's on on campus, and so we're now like empty nesters.
Mhm.
You know,
I know, like, woo, woo, do that dance.
and so we had to learn to adapt and change because we had to make it we had to say, okay, let's make this a conscious effort here, because we were so used to always talking about the kids and incorporating the kids in everything we do. So now we have to change. And because we work with couples in business, we also are in business, and we know that there's an issue with having the blurred lines where business crosses over to your marriage. And so we were starting to now experience the same thing that we teach others and we show them, say, hey, the lines become blurred. So we had to make a conscious effort for a little while and say, okay, let's make sure we don't talk about business. Let's don't talk about the kids. Let's talk about us, and let's get out and start dating again. Let's go out and go to Disney World, Disney Springs, go out to eat. And, we actually just took a dance class.
Yeah.
And that was really awesome. It was like we had never taken a dance class together. So we learned how to do the hustle, the merengue, and what was the other one?
The salsa.
The salsa.
Yeah.
And so,
I love that.
Yeah, and so we're even like, oh, this would be great for season 3 in our TV show, And so we're starting to and it was really fun. So it was something we had never done before. And so the next thing, I think we're going to probably try painting together. So we're getting ready to do some new things that we haven't done before, because we already had the kids and we did the kid stuff,
Right.
So
and
we had to learn.
And had to be about them.
Right. And so now we're able to adapt, and now change up our routine,
I love that. I love it. So you guys seem adventurous.
Have to be.
Yeah.
How do you get other couples who are kind of stuck in the mud, if you will? How do you get them to know that it's okay to branch out and help them to see? I mean, one thing is, of course, you're great examples of that. But what if you have that stubborn couple who just can't find their way into the better spaces?
Well, I know when I connect with the men and I just talk with them and I just be myself with them. And I kind of, have to talk with me. I think they're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, you seem to be pretty cool. I might do this. Like we were trying to get somebody on our show, and I get ready to talk to them. They're like, yeah, they think, oh, it's Hollywood. You gotta do this and do that. I was like, no, man, we just gonna have fun. We're gonna talk. So just like we're talking right now, that's the show. Yeah. Asking questions. We had military couple on, and I was just talking to them about the military. They were sharing something. I said, that was the show. We should have filmed it. He was like, really? Okay. So I'm okay with being on the show, So it's just really just being yourself, connecting, conversating, and just having fun. It's all about having fun,
Right.
So remember why you first got married. You enjoyed each other's company before you got married, before you had the kids. So why do you have to stop now?
That's right.
We pushed pause a little bit while they were younger. Then now once they're older, they can drive, they can take care of themselves. We still need to enjoy each other because God gives us our kids to take care of them for a season. They're always going to be our kids, but they're not going to always be with you in the house. So you don't want to be looking at a stranger across the table, or be that couple in the restaurant that's just on their phone or just seem like, why am I here? And
we have seen, we've been out eating, and we look over and we look at the couple, and he's just like, and she's just like, she on her phone. I'm like, they're not gonna say anything to each other.
Yeah. William and myself and our friends Chantel and John, we went to a marriage. What did we go? Was it a marriage retreat? Well, it was kind of. Oh, I know. It was Palm Springs, and we had a friend who used to always have couples come, and it ended up being at one point about 20 of us that would go in August. And we just go up there, and we had two things that we did for sure. One of them was on the night we arrived, we had dinner because the guy of that couple, it was his birthday, and so that's how it all started. And we went to Mastro's for dinner, and then the one thing that the girls would do would be go thrifting, but the rest of it was like free for all time, right? Yeah. And on the way up there that year, we decided to have lunch before we actually arrived, and we were sitting in this restaurant. And I happened to look over, and it was a couple, and they were both like this.
Yeah.
the entire time. And so
Yeah.
we were like, are y'all gonna look at each other? And they
It's easy to get into those types of snares. I mean,
were
because when business comes, like my wife, for her winding down would be like just looking at real estate. Myself, I'm checking, numbers, what have you. So it's easy for you to be like, oh, yeah, I'm just like put this thing down.
Yeah.
right,
Look,
right.
we have to sometimes reinvent ourselves when it comes to our interests because we had been so busy with day-to-day life with work, business, kids, and then and then we have our parents. They're older now, we're trying to take care of them, so it's so much out there to distract you that you forget, wait a minute, we're married, we're supposed to have fun, we're in a relationship, we gotta have fun.
They not
Our parents have their fun, so it's time for us to have fun. They can't intrude on our fun. You had your time, you made your decisions. It's time for us to have fun.
exactly.
So
You
don't
have
be
to go
interrupting.
you have to go
Right?
spend your inheritance.
Yeah.
Don't be interrupting and changing our flow. We gonna have fun.
I love it. I love it. So when you work with power couples who are
Mhm.
in business, and
Mhm.
a lot of times, like you said, we could get so focused on our business and we feel like we have to do that grind. We have to be, always on it. And so what do you teach? Because it's almost like you're teaching them how to build generational wealth and how to become that millionaire power couple. How do you incorporate? How do you help them? Uh-oh. Oh dear. They gone. What happened? I know they'll be right back. See, when it gets to, see there how it goes? When it's getting really good. There we go.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
back.
goodness. You know how it is when it's just about, you must have been just about to drop those real gems. So what I was saying is, I know that you guys work with power couples, and you have the
Mhm.
show Becoming a Millionaire Power Couple, which
Mhm.
is awesome. That's really great. But we know that there's a grind that goes with that. So what do you teach your couples on how to make that balance?
Right. A lot of times, just like what's important to us, we make time for it. So just like you can block your schedule when you have meetings with clients, or if you're at your job, you got to block time off for the two of you. Like Eric said, we have to say, put our phones off, let our, we're not available at this time, and be dialed into one another. Because if not, you're looking at a stranger, and making sure you're intentional about not blurring the lines. Every time you're together, the
Wow.
conversations go from about business, about kid. No, this is just about us. They right now, we love them. They don't exist. We got to focus on what's going
Mhm.
to keep that passion between the two of us. What are some things that we want to do and accomplish as a couple outside of the business, outside of everything else? So that's really, really important. And you have to be intentional about it. If you have an important client, you're going to show up for that client.
Mm,
Well, this is my lifetime client, lifetime partner. I got to show up for him. He's got to show up for me. So
right.
that means you got to be able to tell everybody no. And
Mhm.
that can be hard sometimes, but you know, I don't want our conversations to be across the table from a divorce attorney. So we've
Right.
got to we've got to figure out what's going to work for us. And also just recognizing that there's a need to compromise. What are some of the things that he wants to do? He has his time by himself and I have my time, but what are the things that he's doing that I could either learn more about or just be there? I'm like a football fan now because he took the time to explain it to me,
Right,
you
right.
know.
Well,
So,
And
I became a Western. I started watching Westerns, and it's funny because as a child, I watched Westerns with my daddy.
oh, okay.
And so when my husband met my father, that's what they bonded over. They started watching Westerns. So at home, then I started watching them. I would know more about them than my husband did.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Kern Crockett Cherry. Hello
Hey,
there.
Hey,
How are you,
hey,
Karen?
Karen.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. She said, good question. Yes. Well, we got some more coming. So listen, you help them to get to that, to how to put away the business
Mm-hmm.
to enhance the marriage. But you're teaching these people how to become millionaires.
Yeah.
So how do you strategize with them to
Mm-hmm.
help them make that shift
Mm-hmm.
into seven figures?
Sometimes they're already millionaires, and sometimes they want to position themselves to become millionaire and keep it. Now, for those who are already millionaires that we've worked with and that even had on our show, it's about not how much you make; it's about how much you keep. And so
Right.
we have all kinds of because we're licensed financial advisors, and we have a team of financial advisors. We know where to invest your money. So you can have lifetime income tax free. And then if something happens to you, your beneficiaries are millionaires, you see. And so that's how you maintain that wealth. You enjoy it while you're alive. But if something happens to you, your family's taken care. They have millions.
Right.
And when you're generating that income, you have to not only when you're preparing, you have to look and make the plan. That's why as couples, and we do needs analysis, we say, okay, well, what is it that you want to accomplish? You have children, you have a home, or you want to, purchase a home, you want to retire early, you want to send your kids to college. When we have everything to put you in position to start preparing for those times and those milestones in your life, And so that's what we do. We talk to them, we show it to them, we show them the numbers, and we say, now, this is what you can do. Not only just give them advice, but because we have the tools and the products, we can actually implement it for them. And then because also my wife is also a certified tax consultant, she knows more about the tax consequences and
Oh yeah.
exemptions, and she knows, okay, yeah, so you got 10 million, okay, yeah, but then if what you want to not do is pay Uncle Sam 40 or 50% of your 10 million.
No,
You know
you
what I
don't.
mean?
No, you don't.
Yeah. So we look at different investment vehicles, and then also if they're business owners, what are they going to do? Because if I don't see too many people becoming really, really wealthy from a 9 to 5. Now you're going to have those people who are CEOs, they have high income, but what happens if there's another pandemic and
Right.
your job is no longer of value to them? You need to
We know
have
about
multiple
that.
sources of income such that you're not going to all of a sudden live paycheck to paycheck. Are they interested in real estate investments? Or what about some of the products? So to try to diversify their income and have multiple streams of
Mm-hmm.
income, that's one of the ways that, you're making sure that these couples are successful. And then also focus on the long-term benefits instead of just the immediate gratification. Because
Yeah.
it's very easy to say, "Oh, I want those $400 or $500 shoes." Okay, but if you take this portion and you put it in this product over here, you're gonna have your money growing over here. Now those shoes, they're cute. You're gonna wear them with this outfit on this day, and maybe one or two more times, and that's it. But
Right.
that's not gonna help you long term.
Right.
So
Get
that's
your
where we
shoes
start
on.
teaching them to reallocate some. We're not telling everyone you got to live off the bare minimum, but teach them how to reallocate some of their funds towards things that can generate income on the long term
Yeah.
basis.
Well,
Now,
that is amazing. And I
yeah,
love that you guys are doing that for couples, particularly couples of color,
Yeah.
because generational wealth has not been something that we've been in the club about, right?
Right.
right,
So this
right.
is
Right.
something that we are starting to understand
Mhm.
how we can do that, because we're learning that it's not about get that good government job and just sit there for, what is it? I don't want to go watch for working 50 years from 9 to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love that. I love that. Now, do you help couples who maybe are in the 9 to 5 space
Mhm.
transition into entrepreneurship?
Yes, ma'am, we
Yeah,
do.
we
Yes,
typically
ma'am.
work with couples in three categories. One that's maybe in 95, one who's an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
Or they're both entrepreneurs, but they have these separate businesses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then you have two couples together and they're in the same business.
Yeah.
And so we
Mhm.
have and then that's where you come where they need exposure. They need exposure for their business, advertisement, and organization, automation, those types of things. But yeah, we have things like advertisements that give them access to over 350 million plus households and commercials. And like our show, we were blessed to on the first time out, season one, to have become award winners. And we went from over 400,000 viewers on the premiere to over 2 million viewers worldwide. And so now season two, we got to check all the numbers and stuff. But yeah, so now if you have a commercial that's airing on all these networks and now we're getting new distribution channels, you have an opportunity to, as a small business, to get exposure and see, all your hits. And if you got action plans, show you, okay, you got to have an action, call to action on your commercial. And you start seeing the impact, that's where your numbers as small businesses, they go up quickly.
Right. And you don't have to be so small anymore. I love that.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
right.
So, I got to just show off this award. This is the one of the awards that we won. And we're up for, this is the communicator, but we're up for 2 more awards this year. Telly Awards and another communicator awards and a Blue Rose Award.
I love that. Congratulations. Kern says, hello, everyone. Thanks for sharing. Many couples struggle with keeping everything together. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is so true. And then here you guys are really doing great work to help people understand what it looks like, number one, by your example, to keep it all together, to get it all together, first of all, right? Let's start there.
Yes.
And then to keep it all together and to keep it in their pocket, or so to speak, which I think is a great point that you brought up, because it's easy to make money, but how do you keep the money? That is, that's so huge. And I think that what you're doing is so important for, again, couples of color, Black couples, because we just haven't been invited to the party for so long.
Right. And it can be a challenge. I mean, marriage in and of itself can be a challenge, but it's something it's worth the work. You got to roll up your sleeves. So we don't tell any couples out there that marriage is a cakewalk, because that's not true. Right. It's a challenge, but because you're constantly growing. Who you are at year 1 is going to be different from who you are at year 5, year 10, because you're constantly growing, hopefully, and evolving. But you got to do that constant check-in with your partner to see where they are, and learn to make adjustments. And couples have got to be willing to do that work.
Yes. Well, I love that. And I love that when you're, it's almost like sometimes the principles align, would you say?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you give an example of that? How the business, the principles that you might be working with someone in business can then align with the principles of their relationship and the marriage?
Yes. Well, go ahead.
Well, I mean, communication. So that's part of the great divide where we have in our book, Marriage Can Win. So if you can effectively communicate in your relationship, it spills over into your business. Just certain methods like the repetition method, like if she's telling me something, I need to repeat it back to her to make sure that what I heard was actually what she said. Same thing in the business, and conflict resolution. A lot of times, we have creative differences when we're talking about, our future TV shows. Like, we want to do 3 new shows here. And I'm like, okay, I'm excited about, let's do this. And she's like, well, I don't necessarily want to do that. And I'm like, you got to, this is great, And so creative differences. So we got to be able to, come with our differences and come to a happy median so we can move forward in business. And the same thing, and like, I want to go eat at Caesar's 52. She said, no, I want to go California pizza. We got to come to a happy medium. Right. We can move for some win-win situation. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you apply those same principles in marriage that you do in business.
I think also focusing on your roles, where your strengths and your weaknesses, because he's a natural communicator, definitely. So when we're in business, one of his roles, he's going to be out there, he's networking, getting to know people, because that's his strength. Right. I know what my strengths are, So a lot of times they say, well, because you're the woman, you should do this. No, he flows in his gift, and we learn to do that. We call that just staying in your lane.
Yeah.
And when you learn to do that in your marriage, it's easier to do that in your business as well. Because if you're butting heads in your marriage, what happens when you go into the office the next day? There's still that stress, there's still that tension. So just learning how to just flow in your gifts and respect, your differences, and allow them, he's the head of the house at home. In certain areas of the business, I may be taking the leadership role because that's my strength, but we respect that. That doesn't take away from who he is as the man or the husband. This is just my gift in this area, and we respect that.
So that's the principle, is that pretty much stay in your lane. So basically, not to compete against each other.
Yeah.
So her strengths, is detail oriented, operation, implementation. Mine is visionary, visual, and planning, but not necessarily detail and implementation. Yeah. So that's how we are in our marriage. So guess what? Let's take those same strengths and weaknesses, offset each other in our business. Mm-hmm. So if I'm the visionary and I want to plan towards, now current 5 months out, 6 months out, and this is how we want to, this is how we want to see where we want to go and expand. And then she works with, okay, this is what we need to do to get there. Yeah. I may know how to say this is where we want to go, but I don't necessarily know how to get there. But she's like, well, this is what's going to take to get there. So now she's calling on the VA, the virtual assistant, to start getting things cranking. And I'm like, writing down the vision. So that's the same thing with the marriage. So if I'm strong in that area, I'm not going to try, she's not going to try to butt heads and, well, I'm the boss now. I'm the CEO chick, or, I'm the head of the household. So just because you know how to implement it, let her flow in her lane. I'm going to flow in my lane. But together, our strengths offset our weaknesses, and that's where the power comes in the couple.
I love that. Y'all better break it down. That's great. That is great. Now, how do you, but there are couples who just can't get past certain things. So how do you help them get to the place where they don't take, last night's drama from, the relationship into work the next day? What are some tools I know they should stay in their lane, but what if they are just angry? Really made me mad. Hello, Miss Cheryl. Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. She says fantastic, and I agree. Absolutely. So how do you help them? What are the strategies that you have for couples who are not doing well in that transition space?
And that's a really good question. We struggled in that area as well. And there were times where we had to just agree, schedule a meeting, say, look, I know you and I are butting heads on this, but when it comes to business, this is our money. This is a roof over our head, food on our table, clothes on our back, providing for our kids. So we would schedule a time and build, write down your feelings and stuff. And we table that until another time, because this arguing and stuff, it's not going to provide for the kids. But we do agree at a time to revisit it. And then that also gives you a time to cool off. Because sometimes when your emotions are high, your intelligence is going to be real low. How you respond to your partner, you may need that cooling off period to really rethink it. Sometimes writing it down and then looking at it like, you know what? If I were to say this may not even come out right. So once you have that time to think about it, you schedule time so it's not like it's just being looked over. No one feels that their feelings are being minimized. Right. Then you revisit that issue, and we implement our conflict resolution steps at that time.
Well, what's funny? It's funny. Like when we did our Marriage Can Win podcast, or even when we did our Marriage Can Win or Date Night with the Hylicks, we had 2 radio shows too, and it was funny because we'd be like, because Keisha has a tendency, she's more detail oriented and structured. Like she has to have things written out, outlined. And me, I'm like, okay, let's just go.
Yeah, that's me.
yeah. We don't need to rehearse. We don't need to do all that. Just be yourself, authentic. And she'd be all nervous and stuff, and she'd get mad because I'm I'm not, detail oriented. Oh, let's practice. I said, no. So here we are going all at it and all that. And I'll say, action. Well, I'm Eric, and this is Dr. SaKeisha Hylick, and we are your relationship expert. Boom! And it'll be one of our best shows, and we had 32,000 listeners, and we were like, wow, we need to be angry more often. So we've learned
what's going, huh?
Because see, our podcast is still out there in syndication. We got over like 93 podcasts now on iHeart, Pandora, everywhere. And, we can look back and we be like, wow, that was one of our best ones. That's one of our best podcasts.
But that just, you allow them to flow in your gifts. And I had to learn that if I'm going to be organized and detailed, that's going to be me. But I can't force him to be me. So we just had to learn how to work together. Like, when we need to both talk, just kind of clues how to respect one another without imposing our will on one another.
Yes, exactly. And understanding, like, God put this together. He didn't make no mistakes.
Right.
You complement one another.
Yeah.
Because I always used to think, imagine if I were married to myself. Like, that would be really great. Right? And so be married to somebody who can fill in the blanks where I, put my stamp on it, then, he could fill in the blanks. That's how William and I flowed too. And it's so important. And I think it's amazing that God does that. If you think about it, there's a couple, you might know of this couple. They're both psychologists, Harold Harville and Helen LaKelly Hunt, I think, or Hunt LaKelly, something like that. They developed this Imago method. Are you familiar with the Imago method of communication? So it's very much like what you were saying when you said the reflecting, listening, and reflecting. So it's reflection, validation, and empathy. And so when you talk about like being upset and might say the wrong thing, it's setting an appointment. You set an appointment to have a dialogue. And so and if you do, and the other person's not ready, they get the opportunity to say, well, no, this is not a good time. Because you ask them, I want a dialogue. Is this a good time? And it's like, no, this is not a good time. But they can't just blow you off. They have to give you a time that actually works. And then you say 6 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, great. So 6 o'clock tomorrow comes, and it's like, hey, when you said or did A, B, C, D, it hurt my feelings. And I just really don't like feeling like that. And so I wonder if, Okay. And so then when you come back, you say, oh, so what I'm hearing you say is that when I hurt your feelings and blah, 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 and DPQ, R, and X, did I get that right? And then you say, well, you got most of it right, but DPQ and R, and that's not right. I said A, B, C, F, and Y. Okay. Yeah. You repeat it back again. Did I get that right? Yes. Okay, now you can move forward. So as the receiver, you say, wow, I understand how that must have made you feel that way. And that was not my intention. You have some good points, and I'm going to look further into that, and I'll make some shifts where I need to. Validate. Now you empathize. I know that I don't think I would like to feel that way if I, so I can, you empathized. And so then now the communication, the height, anger, and all of that has dropped way down low. Because you got to think about, they listen, because a lot of times it's, you don't listen. Well, I did. You don't listen. You don't act like I have valid point. Well, I did. You don't have no empathy. Well, I did. So you take all of that out of it, So I think that that's exactly what you guys are doing it without even knowing that was what's, that's a tried and true method that somebody put a name on and copyright.
Wow.
I love it. Oh, my friend John is here. John says, making marriage simple. Yes.
Yeah.
So that same couple wrote that book. And look. There it is.
Making marriage simple. Awesome.
Because I use it with some of the couples that I work with. And, it's the same couple that they're that I'm talking about, Harville Hendricks and Helen LaKelly Hunt.
Okay.
And so when I first got married, William and I first got married, there was the thing on the radio that said, "Oh, come for couples event or whatever." And so I signed us up. So we went, and I think it was 4 weeks on a
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, and every Tuesday we went there. They had candlelight dinner, and we played games to get to know one another. But they showed us videos, and it was this couple, and that's when I first heard of the Imago method. Now, I was not a therapist then, didn't know such a thing existed as a marriage family therapist, but now that the guy was a marriage family therapist. And
Oh,
Oh, okay.
so
wow.
fast forward, our church started studying from this book, and
Mhm.
our one of our ministers is a marriage family therapist, and so he brought
Oh,
the
Oh,
okay.
book in and taught it to some of the leaders of our family groups, and our family group leader, which is John, and his beautiful wife, my bestie Chantel. They led our group in it, and it was during the pandemic. And so we
Mm.
just got together once a week after reading it and doing the exercises. We got together and shared out about what we were learning. And it was very powerful, very powerful.
oh,
So,
wow.
Awesome.
yeah, but it takes a village, don't you think?
Mhm. It
Yes.
does. It does.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So do you guys work with couples in a group fashion in the work that you're doing?
Yeah, we do that in the groups and we do it in individual. So it kind of depends on the need. We like the group setting where couples, we can all glean from one another, but we do offer one-on-one couples.
Yeah. So now your first platform was Marriage Can Win, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Tell us how you
We had.
started that. Where did that come?
Oh,
Even
You
the
can pull
title.
that book in and show it.
Oh, Marriage Can Win. Believe it or not, I was at a women's business conference. And when you go to a conference, they always say, stand up and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. And I introduced myself. My husband, we've been together how many years? We've got two young kids, two adult kids. And she came up to me afterwards and she said, can I ask you something? I said, yes. She said, I've never seen someone with such a twinkle in their eye when they talk about their husband. And I'm sitting there like, really? I didn't notice that. And then she said, do you guys ever have disagreements? I'm like, oh yeah.
Mhm.
We just talked and she goes, I didn't. She's like, when I see you, I would never think that you guys went through all that. I'm like, oh yes, we did. And so then she asked me, she's like, have you ever thought about writing a book? I'm like, no. And nice to meet you. And I laughed. And she literally kept talking to me about it, and probably about a year later, and I said, well, Eric, this lady is still talking to me about writing a book. And so we got on the call with her, talked to her, and she's like, so what would we call it? And we were literally,
Share the book.
we
Share the book.
I'll grab it. The book is called Marriage Can Win.
This is
But
actually our workbook. That has all the assessments in it.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Hardback. But we have the paperback book. It's also in digital format. But that was our first book that we wrote.
and
Wow.
we went back, we were literally on the phone. We were supposed to be away on vacation, and we were on the phone with her till probably 1 o'clock in the morning. And we started off saying, we need to talk about how the fact that marriages can win. And we kind of glanced over that. And then by 1 o'clock in the morning, we went back and forth. She's like, you know what? I think we should just call it Marriages Can Win.
Yeah.
And
I
I was like,
love it. I love it.
so
Right, and that goes
absolutely.
back to something you said earlier too, is you see the need and you feel the
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
So, and you're good listeners. That's the thing. When God downloads it, you guys are listening. I love that. Now, I have one of your books.
Mhm.
Um, what is the one about vows?
Oh, struggling
Struggling
to
to
keep
keep
the
the
vows.
vows.
That's the one. I got
Yeah.
that one. I
Oh,
think I watched you guys on something, and afterwards I downloaded it. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Struggling to keep the vows.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So, how many? You said 5 books. Tell us about the other books.
The first one was Marriage Can Win. Another one was like an anthology that I did called Girl Get Up and Win. And we have
Wife
oh
material.
yeah, Wife Material. I forgot
Oh,
about that one.
And then
Wife
struggling
Material.
to keep the vows.
And then we did Money Talks, which
Money
was
talks.
that was another anthology,
Yeah.
helping couples with finances. So actually, this is our 6th book.
Is it our 6th book?
This will be
Okay,
6th one.
yeah. And this one is Becoming a Millionaire Power Couple. And actually, the pre-order, you can get the pre-order now at mpctv.live.
Okay,
So
hold on. I'm going to put that in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so www.mpctv.live. You can also find, if you're interested in becoming a guest on our show or want to become a sponsor, or get a commercial sponsorship. Also, you can inquire there as well.
So it's becoming a millionaire power couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put this in here. I need a producer, y'all. You hear me out there, right?
All right.
Okay. So that's www.m like mother, like marriage, pctv.live to get becoming a millionaire power couple, right?
Correct. Yes.
All right. Let's put that one up. There we go. Okay. And then how can they be a guest on the show?
Oh, on that same site, mpctv.live, they just click on the button. It says be a guest.
Be a guest.
And they fill out the form, and then we schedule a time to meet with the couple.
And all the sponsorship and commercial information is on there as well.
Everything is on there.
All right, perfect. So that's www.mpctv.live to get a copy of becoming, oops, I spelled it wrong, a millionaire power couple. And if you want to be a guest on their show, you can look on there and click on the little button, and reading is fundamental, and it'll take you there as well.
Yes. But also to see the show, you can get to the show on Zandra TV Networks, which is on Roku, Fire Stick, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, NBC, Comcast, Binge TV Network, Tony Network, and this some more we're getting ready to be distributed on some other networks now.
That's
fantastic. Or you can just do ZandraTV.com.
So Sandra so spell that for me.
Oh, Z like in zebra. ONDRA TV.
Yeah, you just
Zandra
add that
TV.
app or add the channel when you go to like Roku, Amazon.
So it's ZandraTV.com.
Well, Zandra TV Network.
Zandra TV Network.
Okay.
Like on Roku, it's a channel you add. Like if you want to add Netflix, you add Zandra.
Okay.
And then we'll be on there under the lifestyle section.
Fantastic. So I want to make sure I get that right. ZONDRATV network.com.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how you get to it.
And that's to watch the show.
Yes.
I love it. Y'all are getting it going.
Yeah, we went through so many challenges in our marriage, and we knew that there were other couples that were in ministry. They were struggling just like we were. And once God blessed us and put us with a group of mentors that would help us come up with strategies to work through those challenges in our marriage, we wanted to go back to other couples and say, hey, if you're struggling in these areas, these are some great tools and strategies that helped us go from where we were then, like looking at each other like strangers, to the couple that you see now. And it's a process. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And we're willing to help them walk through it.
And it's helped you with longevity to get to the place where you can now really have fun, that those children are gone and it's just I love it. Gwendolyn says, great conversations.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, sister. So Gwendolyn is going to be my co-producer of an event that we're doing called Dating from the Soul.
Oh,
That will be in April 30th. You single ladies out there, please write that on your calendars, because we're going to help you get to be the wifey.
Definitely. Well, send me the information. I'll share it out in our groups too.
Please
Let them know.
Yes. And I think I need to pick up a copy of that book that you have, Becoming the Wife. Is that what is it?
Oh, wife material? Okay.
Wife material. Yes. We might be able to take some tidbits from that and incorporate into this dating workshop, because I think, and do you have conversations with single women yeah. So important.
Absolutely.
So important.
Yeah. My
So you
chapter is
guys,
like it's from me to we. So yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. I like that.
It's that mindset shift that has to take place. So
Hmm. Now, how do couples get to work with you individually?
well, actually, if they send us an email at team@marriagecanwin.com, and then we'll schedule a time to meet with them. We do have like an assessment that we give them so we can figure out what their needs are. And
Okay,
then we can create a customized plan because every couple is not going to be cookie cutter. We have to
right.
come up with something that's going to work specifically for them.
Okay, so if you're out there and you like what you've heard here tonight, and I know that you have, and you want more of the same, then go to team@marriagecanwin.com to reach out to these beautiful couple here and get yourself some help because marriage can win, right? I love
Yes,
it.
it
Hey.
can.
Ah, there's my soror Rhonda. So say hi
Hey,
to soror Dr. I always want to say SaKeisha.
Rhonda.
Rhonda pledged me.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes. And she was in Miami that what I was talking about earlier.
Ah, okay.
Yes. And Tina says some valuable nuggets. Thank you.
oh,
Absolutely.
thank
Now,
you.
and Tina was just the recipient of the Love Award. And
Oh,
I forget, oh gosh, what was it? I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. And Tina, put in the chat real quickly what your category was that you won in. Um, and Tina is also the director of the Miss and Ms. No, wait, Junior Miss and Ms. Black California, USA. And I have the
Oh,
oh,
wow.
distinct pleasure of being on her planning committee. And we're very excited that we'll
wow.
be launching a
Wow.
pageant in September, the end of September and October 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes. So if you, she won the Trailblazer Award.
Ah,
Oh,
okay. Awesome.
congrats.
And that she is, indeed, indeed. So listen, you guys, it has been wonderful having you on. I feel
Oh,
like there's
thank you.
so much more. So we might have to have you back sometime in the future to see what you're up to because you guys are doing so many wonderful things. It's so amazing and so great.
Oh, well,
Oh,
thank you.
thank
We
you. It's
enjoyed
been
it.
the pleasure's all ours. We
Yes.
enjoy spending time with you and everyone
Yes,
here.
we have to meet somewhere or
Oh,
and we can get together and have some FaceTime, some real
all
FaceTime.
right.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. And Gwendolyn says, I'm in the right room. I have several retirement instruments I need to determine best shelters for. Immediately, I will head to Marriage Can Win to connect. Yes,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Awesome.
awesome.
indeed. Very good. Yes, Gwendolyn is a recent retiree. We're
Ah,
Woo!
okay.
All right.
so excited for her. She's the busiest retired person you'll ever meet, though. I'll tell you that. I love it. I love it. So,
Yeah.
you guys, is there anything you want to leave with the Boss Talkers before we say goodnight?
Wow. I just tell couples just make sure you don't make a permanent decision based on temporary emotions.
I
You
love
know,
that.
times and seasons in our lives change. So just take your time and think things through before you make that permanent decision.
And what we always say in our shows is ACT. Action changes things because
Because
powering
powering ain't
ain't easy.
easy.
Ooh, wait. I like that. I like that. I got to get that one down. Hold on. Oh, wait. I gotta put that up there. So
Mhm.
this will be there forever. So don't make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. That is
Yeah.
so rich. Y'all
Yeah.
take a photo of that, write it down, and share it out because
Mhm.
every couple needs to hear that. Every
Yeah.
individual,
Yeah.
even in business, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
so much
Yes.
that is parallel. Now give me that again,
Mhm.
Eric.
Mhm.
ACT. Action changes things because
Powering
powering
ain't
ain't easy.
easy.
Action changes things because powering
Ain't
Ain't
easy.
easy.
Oh, ain't. I love it, but you
Yeah.
got to do it, right? Somebody's got to.
Right.
Yes.
ACT action changes things because powering ain't easy. All
Yes,
right,
Right.
indeed.
y'all, remember that. I always love to give y'all acronyms, so that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Action changes things
Yeah.
because
Yes.
powering ain't easy. Well, I
Yes.
think we can go home now. That was awesome. So listen,
Oh.
you two stay with us and say
Okay.
goodnight, but
Hmm.
stay here while we go out so we can chat after.
Okay.
Okay,
All
definitely.
right.
Yes. So listen, y'all, as I told you, this is Love Month and I'm gonna be bringing it to you. And so I am so glad that you got a chance to meet my friends, Eric and Dr. SaKeisha Hylick. And you know where to find them to get just about anything that you might need. They have it all. So check the show notes, check the comments, and share this out to those who missed it because there are some out there who definitely will need these nuggets. So, you know, I love y'all out there. It's your girl, Sean LeRae, with Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And that's you. So, shalom, y'all. Live loved.